Hello and welcome to PPMD's 27th annual conference and our second conference held all virtually. I'm Ryan Fisher, Chief Advocacy Officer at PPMD.
And I'm Eric Camino, PPMD's Vice President of Research and Clinical Innovation.
So here we are again. This is our second virtual conference. We of course wanted to be in person this year, but out of an abundance of caution, we decided to go virtual again. But it doesn't mean we don't have a robust agenda. We have a packed agenda for the next 4 days, don't we, Eric?
We do. So we have a number of things coming your way over the next 4 days. We have sessions on care and with a great quality of life and panel on awesomeness on our last day. We're going to bring you interviews with sponsors talking about their clinical trials, as well as some preclinical research updates as well. We also, for the first time, are going to have some recently reported updates at conference where a number of sponsors are presenting new data live at conference. We also have Pat with us in the studio this year, and she's going to do some deep dives on experts in the field on various topics. And then we have content on the conference hub, such as our poster session, pre-recorded videos that you can all kind of dive into at your leisure this week. We're also going to be doing some live polling and have some photo challenges for a little bit of interaction between us. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Ryan to go over a little bit of housekeeping for conference.
So remember, everyone, to bookmark your virtual conference hub. This is going to be the place where you can find everything about conference. We have a library of pre-recorded videos from many of the sponsors and speakers that you're going to hear from over the next couple of days. You can also go there and register for one-on sessions with experts in behavior and learning. Our team from the Duchenne Registry, our certified Duchenne counselors, will do one-on-one sessions with you as well, and also physical therapists. You can also register for the Lunch and Learn sessions on an array of topics, and then our Zoom social nights, which will take place over the next couple of nights. Finally, we have a daily virtual photo challenge that we hope everyone's going to participate in. I think this day's theme is Wacky Day, and the winner of that photo challenge will be a $25 gift card. So if you have questions or comments, any issues, you can email us at comments@parentprojectmd.org. Also, any questions for the panelists or the speakers, there's going to be a box where you can submit your questions in real time. It's going to be below your player, so make sure to do so. We'll get to as many questions as possible. So Eric, what do we got up today?
We have a lot in store this evening. We have 2 Into the Pipeline sessions, and those are our series where we talk with sponsors about their clinical trials. So we're going to be talking about some sponsors looking for investigational products at restoring dystrophin, as well as some approved products, and a session on protecting the muscle. In addition to that, we have a roundtable discussion on the power of advocacy. We're also going to have our first recently reported update. We'll be joined by Dr. Paula Clemens to talk about some recently reported data from NS Pharma. And then, of course, like Ryan said, we're going to have our pop quiz. We're going to have a look at some of those photo challenge submissions and a little bit of fun with that. But before we begin, we're going to have a short message from our board chairman, Anessa Fehsenfeld.
Welcome to PPMD's 2021 Virtual Annual Conference. My name is Anessa Fehsenfeld, and I'm Board Chair of Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy. I am so pleased you've joined us this week. And while we will miss our face-to-face interactions, hugging our friends, old and new, and, well, let's be honest, socializing down at the pool or meeting at the bar to download after a long day of panels and sessions, we recognize that now just isn't the time to take risks, but we do see safer days ahead. And I really look forward to gathering together with all of you very soon. Friends, what a year it's been. And together we've kept forging ahead because our work goes beyond just a virus. We have a life-altering mission to fulfill and a momentum in our community that, well, it just can't be stopped. We may be physically separated this year, but our voices have been heard, and the collaboration and progress that has continued across all of PPMD's areas of focus, from research, our care, advocacy, and even connecting our community. You know, if anyone knows how to survive and do our best to thrive, even when things get really hard, well, I think it's all of us. We're resilient. We did get creative. We made a few pivots, and we all pitched in when and how we could. And while the work to end Duchenne, it didn't end. And in fact, I think it only gained momentum. When I think about all that we've overcome and accomplished together over this past year, I feel a lot of pride. And through it all, you've been there alongside us. We could feel it, we could see it, and you were all supporting our efforts in your own unique way. And for that, I want to say thank you. It may sound a little cliche, I suppose, but truly, we can't accomplish all that we do, and we wouldn't be who we are without all of you. When we ask, you don't hesitate. You step up to give and give generously, to fundraise and do so very creatively this last year, and to advocate in record numbers at our virtual Fly-In at Advocacy Conference. You step up to encourage and connect, to care and advise one another. The list just goes on and on. We are only as strong as our community. And this year, more than ever, together, we showed the world our strength. I also want to recognize our amazing PPMD staff for their dedication and perseverance as they've navigated these past 12 months. Their tireless work, it didn't go unnoticed. And while it was expected, they handled this pandemic with grace. And we are very thankful for their commitment to our community. Well, we have an extraordinary online conference in store for you this week that will not only inform, but will also connect. You're about to have front row seats to engaging live panels featuring the latest research, clinical trials, approved therapies, care initiatives, quality of life issues, and so much more. There will be breakout sessions broken down according to age and covering multiple aspects of care, and even one-on-one interviews with experts. You're going to have access to on-demand presentations on research and care, and even a virtual poster session and resource fair that you should all explore. And don't forget that opportunity we had to make one-on-one private appointments with physical therapists, occupational therapists, genetic counselors, and other specialists. And last, there will be fun, interactive tracks and social opportunities for the whole family. Don't miss out. We miss our Duchenne family dearly, and we look forward to seeing all of you together in person sometime soon. But for now, we promise you a conference full of information, education, conversation, and community, and a conference that stands apart from all the rest and remains true to all you have come to expect from PPMD. Welcome.
Thank you, Anessa. We so appreciate your leadership, and we miss seeing you in person as well. Now we'll hear from PPMD's founder and president, Pat Furlong, who will be officially kicking off the conference. Pat?
Welcome, and thank you for joining PPMD's 27th annual conference. Boy, we wanted this to be in person this year, hoping the impact of the pandemic would be behind us. As the months unfolded following the 2020 virtual conference, we watched as things began to change. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines received emergency use authorization from the FDA, and vaccines became available for all adults, followed by children 12 and older. We struggled with our decision to go virtual again in 2021, but without vaccinations for 12 and under, we felt the risk was too great. For this reason, we are virtual again in 2021. In addition, we consulted with infectious disease experts to understand what is known about the efficiency of the vaccine for immune-compromised individuals. The advice we received is that the degree of immunity for immune-compromised individuals is unknown, as we are in the early stages of understanding immunity to COVID-19 and its variants. More specifically, the durability of the vaccine is at risk populations is unknown. We know how much it means for all of us to gather face-to-face and to learn from experts and each other. However, we've learned a great deal from last year's conference. With more than 2,000 attendees, the reach of the conference was far and wide. People who otherwise could not have attended the in-person meeting participated. We had a range of voices from around the world. Global stakeholders from across industry, healthcare, and research joined the meeting. In addition, federal policymakers and FDA joined many of the sessions. So the upside to being virtual is the broad reach we can achieve again this year. We know this year seemed especially long. The isolation, fear, and worry about delays in research and clinical trials, but it did enable a couple of things. It demonstrated the expanded use of telemedicine, greater interest in decreasing the burden of clinical trials by developing tools for evaluation that could be implemented at home. We saw improvements in device capture, and the warp speed of vaccine development has accelerated interest in and development of the master protocol for Duchenne. Under our CARE program, we now have 28 certified Duchenne care centers, with 13 additional clinics going through the application process. And international interest continues to grow with the program. This year, the CDCC program awarded nearly $500,000 in grants to enable and encourage collaboration across centers. The Duchenne registry continues to grow rapidly, with more registrants being added daily. We are also partnering with clinics to integrate electronic medical records with patient-entered data. In addition, we built the Duchenne Outcomes Research Interchange to collect post-marketing data on approved therapies. This will help us better understand their long-term safety and effectiveness. In 2018, we initiated a partnership with New York State on newborn screening. The effort is progressing well, as babies are being screened and diagnosed while ensuring that families are supported. We intend to submit to the Registered Uniform Screening Panel, or RUSP, in 2022, with the goal of federal acceptance of newborn screening for Duchenne and Becker. Our hope is that one day, newborns will be diagnosed and soon after have access to safe and effective treatments. Our research agenda continues to be robust. It includes investing in the development of non-viral platforms for gene therapy, a focused initiative on biomarkers, and an increased emphasis on gene therapies that target the heart. We know the heart is a muscle too. It needs to be protected as function is maintained. In addition, we're providing support for Wellstone research centers, analysis of longitudinal cardiac MRI data, and support for collaborations focused on disease progression, like DRISC and CTAP. We're also working on the development of a patient-reported outcome measure in collaboration with the University of Rochester. It takes a village, and we're thrilled to collaborate with so many amazing partners on these efforts, including fellow Duchenne organizations. Next, we've had incredible results with our advocacy agenda. This year marked 20 years since the passage of the MD CARE Act, landmark legislation that's led to increased federal research in Duchenne and Becker, the development of care considerations, and ultimately, companies taking early ideas into clinical testing. The congressionally directed medical research program at the DoD is now funding $10 million annually. And in 2022, we're hopeful your advocacy efforts will help increase it to $12 million. We worked with Congress to introduce the Benefit Act, ensuring the FDA is transparent about how they incorporate patient preferences into their decision-making. While we were not in DC this year, we held our advocacy conference virtually with more than 440 advocates. Recalling how this community came together 20 years ago to advocate for the MD CARE Act, the results have been remarkable, with over $600 million invested in Duchenne. It was a tipping point that accelerated research and provided support to every therapy in development and in trial. Finally, we continue to engage the FDA CDER, the Center Responsible for Drugs, which has 5 approvals in Duchenne: Exondys 51, Amondys 45, Vyondys 53, Viltepso, and Emflaza. Also, we've been regularly engaging with CBER, the Center Responsible for Gene Therapy. You will hear from Dr. Celia Witten from CBER later in the conference. In 2014, we were the first patient group ever to write guidance for companies developing therapies in Duchenne. It was submitted to the FDA for consideration. The effort encouraged FDA to write their own guidance for Duchenne, which was finalized in 2018. With the progress made since 2014 and the advancement in gene therapy, we're now ready to update the community-led guidance. We will be providing the community an opportunity to participate in this process. It's been a year full of change, and PPMD has taken one more leap forward. Finally, we're excited to announce that on July 1st, PPMD is officially moving their main office to the Rare Hub in Washington, D.C. Research, care, policy, all of it will be based in our nation's capital. So with all of that, thank you for joining us this year. We'd like to recognize our elite sponsors, PTC Therapeutics, and our platinum sponsors, Fibrogen, NS Pharma, Pfizer, Sarepta, and Wafra. Our mission remains as focused as ever. We can, we must, and we will end Duchenne. Welcome to the conference.